Yo, let's go.
Right, we can get rid of the Maple Leaf Rag and then...
We mute ourselves as well. So you can't hear what we're saying.
Yep. But the people right now can hear what we're saying. So,
let's go.
Guys, welcome back to the stream. Sorry it took so long to get set up. We actually had a massive influx of players coming really late in, so we needed a big amount of admin work. So, apologies for the delay. Thank you for sticking around as well.
The first feature match is against Tosco, who's actually the winner from the last tournament. So it looks like he's playing some Morbius shenanigans right now. This deck is quite popular at the moment, isn't it, Como?
Oh, yep.
It's got some serious power output, especially on a Nexus game. And we've got him against Slayer, who looks like he's running as some sort of control variant. Nakia probably from the hub there. Snap coming in. Arthur, unfortunately, it's already been sorted out and seeded, but there will be another one in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, so if you go onto the Discord, you'll be able to find the information for the tournament in 2 weeks on there.
This is the first community tournament that's been streamed as far as we're aware of. That is an invitation only. Jesus. He's showing him that he's going to be playing that Modok. He's choosing not to put it on the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, if this is control stuff, then...
Oh, it's big stuff. Oh, reveals the Apocalypse there, which explains why he didn't want to fill up the Nexus.
Oh, and the Wolverine goes into the Nexus.
That is unfortunate for Taco. Be interesting to see if he actually plays this one out. I can only imagine that Slayer's going to have a Taskmaster, right? You just got to presume.
You would think so, but it's probably currently doing the maths on that Apocalypse right there.
I would imagine even if not Taskmaster, this deck probably will have something massive to put in Nexus.
Yeah.
Something, surely. Looks like he is going to be playing it out, for the most part.
He's still thinking about it. So, the Mojo buff goes off here.
Oh,
this is a
backbreaker.
Ruiner.
The Dracula is left in hand. Wait, the Dracula has been left out on board to soak the Apocalypse. I don't think it's going to quite get him there for this game one. He does take mid, but he doesn't take the game. This is the tournament. Yes, some freeze.
Aye.
That's game one for 4 cubes. Play a favour. So a couple of key cards being revealed there. He knows that he definitely does run Enchantress.
Be interesting to see what game 2 looks like now that the players have had a round to scope each other out.
Absolutely. I don't think Taco revealed any tech cards there, which is quite crucial in the first game. 4 cubes down. We'll see how this next game pans out.
See, if Slayer's paying attention there, he will have been able to see what was discarded as of the Modok.
Yeah, he will. Agent 13 here revealing that he is going for an RNG element. So we'll have to play everything.
Oh, yeah, the overlay. I did forget to do that.
Oh, Daredevil into blind. Blind Daredevil, the irony, right? Gets slightly punished on the Bar Sinister there. Choosing to play Morbius mid, Sunspot going down as well now. They are going to be after playing around Dream Dimension. It's going to make Morbius very tricky. Zabu is revealed from Slayer's side, which I don't think was revealed last game as far as we can see. Wolverine Gambit pays off, does not go into Bar Sinister.
Very happy about that, it's got to be. So we've seen that they take the Enchantress, but doesn't look like they're playing Leech as of yet.
No.
So Dracula's still very much on the cards, but have to be pulling that Apocalypse out.
And even though we've not seen it yet, I can only imagine in a Zabu list, Shang will be lurking somewhere in the 9s. Some hard decisions to make here, playing around Dream Dimension. Four cubes down in the first game. It's not a good look. Liking the variants going on. I say variants, the splits.
Yeah, the splits. Maybe Morbius is pretty cool.
It is.
Alright, decision's been made. It's Dracula going down and just a soak from Slayer.
A super soaker.
Ooh. That is what they needed.
Absolutely. Another snap coming in.
And that snap could be
on the Daredevil.
huge.
Very disrespectful. I'm a big fan of it myself. Let's see what goes on.
You know, we love a bit of Daredevil and snap around here.
Absolutely, positively. Oh,
Cosmo into the lane. Could be.
I'd be very, very surprised if this is not a concede here.
Now, the difference maker for this, that I imagine Taco's thinking about right now, is that Deadpool already sitting in the bar sinister.
Daredevil, my dude.
Daredevil, what did I say?
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
we cool.
Some dude in a red suit, right?
Something like that.
So Daredevil sitting in that bar sinister does mean that the potential output there is lowered. And there are no debuffs currently, depowers currently going on for the effects.
Absolutely.
So assuming it's something big, it could kind of swing power in that lane or in the other lanes.
Yeah. So a lot of thinking going on right now. It is again for 4 cubes. High roller game. Got a couple of options, but none of them seem great for Tosco, unfortunately.
It's true.
Advantage definitely Slayer. Decides to go with the baffle play. Oh.
That's going to be a lot of bots.
That is a lot of bots. He was hovering over the Modok there for a second as well, and I'm not sure if the Modok would have got him there. 860. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, with the power reduction in that lane from Daredevil, like, it would have been a huge play. I imagine the fear was just there because of the big cards that he's seen in the last round.
We didn't see the Doctor Doom reveal, but now we do. And Tosco is in a very, very bad spot here.
Yeah, this is crucial. 2 4-cube games in a row. 2 4-cube rounds.
Absolutely. I would be expecting a turn 1 snap from Slayer here.
Yeah. Although, in this position, Slayer doesn't really need to as such.
Well, he can't snap back for more than 2. So if he was to instant snap him, he either wins this game or he backs out and he wins next game. So fully would be expecting an instant snap here from Slayer, no matter what happens. What's good, guys? Yeah, this could be a quick first game. We've got Los Diablos base, miniaturized lab. Los Diablos base does threaten the miniaturized lab. Big pass on turn 2 coming in from Tosco as well. Daredevil comes down. He's been prevalent this game.
And that early card Daredevil is massive.
Collapsed mine here. A collapsed mine never feels so bad. Until, yeah.
It gets blown up. And that's a big turn skip as well, so.
I was just about to say, until it happens on turn 3, neither player happy about that.
So there's only one lane to play in right now.
Absolutely, and we know that Slayer plays Cosmo, so this is very, very bad news for Taco. Slayer is playing quite the gentlemanly play here by not snapping.
It could be, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking it could be the ungentlemanly play of the Daredevil snap, and we could be about to see that again.
Yeah, we're going to see it again. I've got a feeling. We've not seen Killmonger from either player either. So them rocks just look like they're here to stay.
So wave right now means that this play is absolutely crucial. Daredevil making it a whole lot more disturbing for Taco.
Absolutely. And very few options coming down. Will he snap again on the Daredevil? That is the question. Will he do it again?
The thing is, no matter what, Slayer's keeping priority here.
Yeah, this is the last time for the flooding lane. There's the snap. Big boomer snap coming in.
Waited right until the end.
Absolutely.
When at this stage in the game, the final score is going to be 2 either way. So that snap is really just to establish dominance.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Trying to turn it into a one-lane game. We know he does play Doctor Doom. Yeah, he knows. He knows. Taco lives to see another day. He's got to win 10 in a row here, though, which is an uphill battle.
But it's looking like Slayer really has legs on this. You know?
Absolutely. Now the opposite is true. I would be expected to turn one snap from Taco no matter what.
Well, in this format, you can't actually snap for any more than you own. So there will be no snap in this game. It will be a 1 cube game all the way through and the rest of them. So Taco will actually have to win 10 games in a row here, which is a mountain to climb.
I mean, for the beer.
He can tap the button, but it won't do any snapping.
Bar Sinister again.
Ooh.
Which is incredibly good for Taco, considering that he's playing the Modok deck. Definitely got more bars than the control deck.
Yeah, you see, hugely, it really could have swung it the other game, but it just did not believe in the Modok and unfortunately cost him.
Yeah. It was interesting last game to see that neither player took the Gamba from last Diablo space, and both of them tried to pass on 3. And with Taco already passing on 1 and 2, it was particularly brutal.
Yeah.
Passing the first half of the game. Alright, so Storm's come down. We've had Agent 13 and Sunspot. Sunspot's taken a Super Soak. Agent 13's given Slayer a random card to hand that we're unaware of. Lechagelia is not one that you like to see.
No, not in either deck, but I feel like it does slightly favour Taco.
Yeah.
So it's looking like a hedge here. Slayer's deciding just to soak on the Sunspot. So it very much seems like, from what we've seen before, the wide devices may come into play.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way of body blocking the Bar Sinister from Taco's side to stop that massive Doom play.
Mm-hmm.
Got no way to get rid of the Sunspot in the deck so far that we've seen. So this Sunspot is just going to be a menace, and I can only imagine that Doombots are going to be flying everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Alright, looking like we're going for a big nutty Shuri play.
Ooh, so the Shuri is for sure not going to win that lane. No matter how buff they get.
No, that is...
15's row is going to be bigger. So in that lane, the red schools represent, what is it, 7 each with the additional buffs that they give to the Shuri, but definitely not enough.
Absolutely not. It's looking like a high street shop over there with that many Hugo Boss jackets coming on from the Jesus Christ. Right, here comes the final turn.
Yep,
yeah, it was Doom.
It is the wide device that we talked about last time.
Jesus.
Now, how much buff does Morbius get off of that? It is
gets
going to be enough.
It gets enough.
So Slayer didn't believe in that.
Taco down but not out. That is a big old Modok.
I was very, very surprised to see Slayer actually put a Red Skull on that turn.
Operation Big Lad.
Knowing that Morbius was there, I guess there's nothing that he could Enchantress there if he was planning on doing so.
Very smart play from Taco, knowing that he could get over a potential Doombot right. But again, massive gamble that he wasn't going to put Doom into the Bar Sinister lane. We do have Altar of Death coming down now.
And this is something interesting that I've not actually seen on this before. I didn't know that once one player was down at 1, the automatic snap on round 5 would come into effect, but it looks like they're playing for 2 cubes, even though Taco only has 1.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Right. Early curve, probably the cards that each player wants on the early curve the most.
Absolutely, Morbius and Daredevil coming down. I may be wrong, but no, I don't think so. I think he's won every game that he's had Daredevil down.
Yeah,
Slayer so far. He does manage to get Agent 13 into the Altar of Death, so he does have a random card that nobody's aware of.
And some more energy to play with.
Yeah, Sunspot just larging it in the sewer.
Now, with the tech that Slayer's playing, the priority seems to be hugely important.
Yeah, we've got Storm coming down. We do know he can go wide, so getting into that altar is going to be tricky. From Tosco's side, of course.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one pans out.
It's got to be a huge turn 4, really. Swing this.
We've seen that Slayer doesn't struggle not getting on the board. Ooh, the last minute change. Oh, that is devastating.
That is absolutely backbreaking. Now, this Wolverine needs to go mid.
Oh my god.
Whoa! The swing! The swing!
The BM coming through from Tosco, Jesus.
Both players respecting it.
That was...
There can't be anyone who've been
it was meant to be.
That,
it was meant to be.
That is an absolutely huge swing.
Absolutely. That was disgusting.
So at the moment, looking like Mobius being the only one Enchantress target. Taco actually does hold still a very strong advantage in that mid lane, even if he does, because of his ability to soak with the Sunspot.
Yeah.
Altar of Death obviously being big for both players, but Slayer at the moment not playing into there.
Here comes the wide device. Now, we've not seen it yet, but there is a chance of Odin in such a list.
There is. But at this stage, it's not exactly clear if it will matter.
It's not. Now, I think he did play Sherry last turn.
He did. Yeah, he played it into the Altar of Death. So whatever's coming down now is getting doubled.
Yeah. So we'll see how this one pans out.
So the red skull there.
Oh, wow.
Had a Quicksilver.
The Quicksilver is the randomly generated card from Agent 13, surely.
100%.
Yo, and Tosco.
That amount of buff.
Tosco, he's going to clutch it out again. Down but not out.
Brilliant.
Down but not out. Let's go, Tosco. I think that we'll see the damage. Yeah, it did indeed take 2. Damn. Yo. Both respected it. I like it.
And that straight up just makes the game a whole lot more spicy. We know we're playing for 2 every single round now. Thank you for sticking around in chat, guys. Just be aware we've got a 2-minute delay on. So as of your time hearing this, I will have said it 2 minutes ago. It's just to make sure that we're running a fair tournament for these guys.
Absolutely, positively.
These guys streaming.
So Tosco, I know we mentioned it briefly, but for those just joining in, did win the previous Showdown tournament. So he is more than capable of pulling this out of the bag.
Yeah.
He's got the skills to pay the bills.
And after going all the way down in 3 rounds, down to 1 HP left.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there. The Scarlet Witch turn 2 paced out into Weird World. Feels bad, man.
This could get a little weird.
Sound effects don't come through on stream. Yeah, it's from Discord.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out for next time, but for this time...
Yeah, this time round, it's just going to be us commentating, guys.
Just our beautiful, soothing voices. So
he did take his Daredevil and opted not to play it from the Tinkerer's Workshop. He might pace it. No, there's just no great opportunity for it, I don't think. It would be nice to get some revenge with the Daredevil that's been causing him so much trouble.
But the fact of the matter is he doesn't have the tech in this deck, and especially not in his hand, to be able to deal with something like that, so...
Yeah.
It's kind of it is what it is situation.
Now, drawing from each other's deck, I think this is in Tosco's favour, dare I say. Because a lot of Slayer's cards can be played individually that don't need any backup. And with Tosco playing such a combo-heavy deck, and what looks like the best cards out of it so far, he really is going to struggle. Oh!
Slayer manages to get his Doom bots off early.
Does reveal the Doom. That is unfortunate. Right, turn 5 is going to pivot. We've still not seen any Odin, but we have seen Wave, we've seen Doom. It'd be an interesting list to see if he doesn't play Odin. Oh. Does the Morbius suggest that he's drawn his Modok as well?
I feel like at this stage of the game, it's a threat for sure, especially backing it with the Cosmo.
Yeah. We'll see how this one pans out.
It looks right now that Taco's doing a lot of threatening, but he knows he doesn't have the option to back out.
Alright. It just looks like he's getting some ordering sorted. Does have a little bit of time left. Would be taking maximum amount of time as well if this was me personally.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on it.
Every right to do so. He knows that with this being the last play of the game, he's got to be very precise about what he's doing.
Absolutely. Serious fear of Modok coming down from the other side on that Morbius lane, personally. Oh, it looks like Toko is just trying to make it work best he can. We'll see how this one pans out.
So
Rams the Chavez.
Right now, Chavez coming down.
He is going to get over it. It looks like Toko's going to live to see another day. Oof. Jesus. Let's go, Toko.
I really love the Agent 13 coming down there, just to give a little gamble on whether or not he could hit a higher powered card for the Dracula.
Absolutely.
Very smart
awesome play from Toko. Takes the weird world.
And now it's looking more and more like a really real match.
I mean, Toko is clinging on for dear life. He's got him downloaded. We'll see how this one goes. Right, so first turn, we reveal Limbo, we reveal Vib Mines.
Okay, so Daredevil on the board does mean that Slayer is back in the stronger position that he wants to be in.
Yeah.
Absolutely crucial.
Wolverine landing in that Morag is quite clutch. And we do know that Slayer does have a couple of wide devices.
And another fact of the matter is that Slayer's got individual cards that can be pressed into lanes.
Absolutely.
Be interesting to see if anyone actually wants to play for Vibranium, but I don't think it'd be the play here.
Again, though, I think this is play to Cosmo. But Toko is in the better position here with a turn 7 game with such a combo heavy deck.
Oh, absolutely. Getting a free magic is yeah.
Right, so a couple of deposits.
Slayer opting for a Cosmo on that lane is potentially kind of huge. He knows that to get any effects off, Taco's going to have to play into the Vibranium Mines.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Slayer is definitely saying, I want to play a 7-turn game. Because he's seen the Storm multiple times and he's saying, I'm not getting done with that on turn 6. Cosmo is coming down. Oh, he does decide to just pay an agent out on turn 4, which suggests that Slayer's got a heavy hand going on. And or a hand of not really much. No wave on turn 3, no wave on turn 4.
I suppose with Cosmo now revealed, Taco's got to be wondering what kind of answer that Slayer can have on a Daredevil.
Yeah.
Even knowing that he's going to be playing that looks like a Modok in the mid lane.
Slayer's got to be concerned here. Wolverine's already jumped out.
Very interesting from Taco to play on turn 5, knowing that there's a turn 6 and a turn 7 in this game.
Yeah. He knows he's going to be drawing his Chavez next turn. He wants a clean top deck for the turn after. Probably just wants to ram this Chavez, I would imagine, left. Decides to go mid. Interesting.
Very interesting.
That Lizard looking like it's always going to be 5 power from Slayer on the right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There is no answer in this deck that we've seen so far, and I believe none that you would play in the meta game.
No, sir. Agent 13 threatening that randomness again. He did come through the first couple of games, but then he gave him Quicksilver on the last game. It's that double-edged sword. He knows he's got a beefy Dracula for left, which is probably why he didn't want to play left, which is understandable. It's just risking drawing a Vib for your last turn. Here comes the Doom that's been causing so much chaos.
Early reveal on the Doom bots as well.
Just like the Legend foretold. Does reveal that he drew. Try not to talk about his hand too much.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, homie.
So Slayer's decided to reveal his Doom on turn 6. What would he have for 7? I can only imagine be a combination of Vib, something from Agent 13, and maybe something small L, something else. He did play 2 into Vib mine and revealed that he drew a Vib, so it could just be a fair whack of Vib coming out.
It absolutely could be. See, having those Vibraniums is obviously there's fair whack in both players' deck, and Slayer's revealed that he's already got one. It's really got to be testing the mental of both players right now, which way they're deciding to hedge. We don't know if Slayer's already ended their turn, but
it does look like Tosco tried to snap him there. Let's go.
Respectable.
Oh,
and that is
Shangers.
a huge hedge. Vibranium on right, and it looks like this is absolutely sealed up and in a bag for Slayer.
Yeah. Damn. GG's.
Absolutely valiant effort.
Played Slayer. Very well played for Tosco, though. Hung on there for a hot minute.
Yeah.
When he managed to get him down to half health from nothing.
It's a huge amount of turnaround. Yeah, brilliant game one.
Well played all round.
Bop. And we are live.
Alright, guys, we're back once again. We've got Snap Factor here versus Death Wizard. Snap just gone down. Cosmo Killmonger down the mid lane. Colossus on the right, facing a Dino, Moon Girl, Hobgoblin, and Mr. Fantastic. And a Snap back. It's looking like it's an 8-cube Beamer.
Jesus. So, absolute naughtiness going off right now is the fact that we're seeing a Hobgoblin and
an arrow coming down. Jesus.
Rips it out to the side, and that's 8 cubes.
8 cubes on that game. Jesus Christ. It could be a quick one, this one.
How? Johnny right at the start of that game, and then already, boom, life points. So we're back to that situation where it's a 1 cube game until the rounds run out. I think it was to round 4.
Absolutely. This was level of irony last game, seeing a Hobgoblin on Death Wizard's side with his picture being Hobgoblin. Right.
If it was the same art, Snap Factor would have won that game.
Quinjet, Sentinel, this is looking already over. Unfortunately, there's so much pace coming down. If any rocks are drawn, Death Wizard could just pace every turn. And then 1-cost Sentinels plus whatever. It's looking hard.
Very, very hard. So right now at the end of turn 3, another Sentinel being paced out.
Yeah. He's going to put a stop to them 3 Sentinels.
Huge for Snap Factor is to be able to get rid of that Quinjet.
Absolutely. The 6-6, it is fairly even on the board right now. Strange Academy is looming.
It would be looking like a potentially game-deciding factor being able to go down right now in this, but no current clamps in hand for Snap is
pretty rough.
Yeah.
Now he knows he's got a Destroyer. So you can also be putting that Destroyer down mid lane. He's got to clog him up if he wants a prayer of staying in this game. 3-point advantage. Death was a favour. I wonder if Snap Factor was a double Spider-Man enjoyer with such an avatar. Can only imagine so.
You can almost guarantee it. So Deathwiz are thinking really, really hard about this turn.
Absolutely.
Putting 2 down in the middle as a Cosmo and a Sentinel. In that order, interestingly.
Ooh. Snap Factor showing signs of life here.
Yep. He's trying to snap as well.
Lord knows he's trying. That is going to be the game.
Yep.
I'm very surprised that Deathwizard took that line, knowing that he could just play Destroyer down mid. We'll see what goes on. Could we see a surprise claw?
I think at this stage, it'd be the only thing that could help him, but I'm not really going to say that I'd imagine he's playing it in this deck.
No, he knows he's playing Aero. God knows he's playing Aero. He lost 8 cubes to it last game, but I don't think Aero's going to help him at all in this situation.
Nope, absolutely not good stuff.
That could be the only reason that I think that he might have clogged that lane.
Yep. Just absolutely preying on the fact that he may not draw any of the clamps. And
now, if you're
lo and behold, Professor X.
If your Deathwizard here with full life, one life left on Snap Factor's side, do you play it out anyway? On the off chance that he messes up?
I personally think no. I think knowing that lane's clogged, right? Knowing that there's no way of moving energy into that. Ooh. There's his own Destroyer.
He chooses to try it. He knew he had it.
Yeah. I think on Deathwizard, I probably would have just saved the time there, saved the mental energy. But, I mean, that could be a gamble that he's gone for himself. Like, how much mental energy is that putting on Snap Factor, just making him wait for the end of that turn, knowing that he's going into the next round with one life? So
I guess there's always a chance as well that he reveals a tech or any card that he's not seen yet.
Yeah.
So you might as well play it out.
That's a good point. And playing his own Destroyer back at him, it's not going to reveal much.
No, just asserting dominance. No card quite asserts dominance like Destroyer. Maybe Galactus, but
even post nerf.
Yeah. Right, so Iceman coming down. And Iceman's always a curious card, right? Because you're never quite sure how much damage you're doing with the Iceman.
And it would be amazing to have replays in this game, just so that you could see.
Just so you knew exactly how much you messed him up.
Alright, Savage Land on the reveal for the 3rd location.
An unfortunate turn of events for Snap Factor, though, playing Armor down the mid into the Sunspot.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to play the KM anyway. Understandable. Oh, he's got Mr. Fister.
Mr. Initiative, but it doesn't actually get him there because of the Backstabbing's effect.
It's true.
It'll be interesting to see just how much power Deathwizard can actually get into that mid lane.
Now, keeping initiative here is quite important moving into turn 5. Mm-hmm. So I'm very surprised that Snap's decided to play on the right here. However, Deathwizard plays on the right as well. It's just a Scorpion, so will he soak? He'll soak to even.
So that actually swings.
It does swing.
So Deathwizard now has initiative.
Aero is a serious threat here.
Seriously serious.
We know both players stocking an Aero as well.
Yep.
Very popular in the meta right now. I mean, it's never not popular, but even more so right now.
Ooh.
Does get that soak to take initiative moving into the last turn.
Now, it's interesting knowing that Snap Factor plays Destroyer, whether or not Cosmo would have actually benefited Snap being in that mid lane.
Unfortunately, it is looking like curtains for Snap Factor.
It may well be.
That is bearing in mind. That's solely with the idea that Aero exists with Prior dragging him right, and there's nothing he can do about it.
That's true. But Snap Factor's going to have to play this one.
He's going to have to play it out, yeah.
On the last cube, there is no other option. Unless you just want to retreat to say you know that you've lost. But
no, we might as well play it out.
It's a question right now of, does he believe?
King of the Swingers. Looks like the decision. Now it's all on this plus player. Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Yeah, big respects coming through from both players. That,
Yeah.
yeah, the arrow that we all saw coming.
Just like the legend foretold, and it is going to be curtains.
A little bit of a soak on sunspot, and that is the game.
Yeah. GG's all round. GG Snap, GG Death Wizard.
I've got a lot of respect for both of these players. First round, 8 cubes.
8 cubes.
Just banged it out on the line. But yeah, Death Wizard taking that really dominant.
Convincingly taking that with the 8 cube beamer. I don't know if I'd probably be backing out. I don't think I'd be doing 8 cube beamers, but big respect. Big respect.
Yeah, a huge amount of respect to it.
All right, back into another one, guys.
Do you want to switch back around?
Can do. He's just starting. Giving it the old switcheroo. All right, let's see what goes down. Oh. This one is on mobile, so
It's going to be a tiny bit blurrier, but
it should be
able
fine.
to see what goes down quite well. So this is actually a game against Elite Hassa, who is
yeah, he's a regular of the stream. He's Hassa,
big one of the community, but he's also recently won a tournament. I think just 1 week ago.
It looks like he's running a similar list for sure.
Oh,
This is number one recommendation when playing Thanos, according to Hassa, is open Yellowstone.
Yeah, play the Mind Stone on turn 1, and the rest of Thanos just sort of plays itself, right?
Absolutely. Jesus. That's a lot of stuff.
Tosco at the moment getting... Oh, just about to say getting a soak on, but that is an absolute backbreaker.
Devastating. Big
And
snap.
a snap coming through. Understandable, really.
Jesus. Now, this could be a backbreaker.
Yep, so we're about to see if Tosco wants to play it out. And it's looking like he is with...
Pacey the Sentinel. That's probably going to be the last Sentinel we see. It does
Sunspot. So Sandman, Ebony Moore on that lane is going to be kind of huge, but really good for Hassa that he managed to get the Sunspot out right there and then.
Oh, this is the Sandman tech. You love to see it.
Yeah, Sandman absolutely going to be brutal.
He's going to
for that
dominate this game.
After Hassa just snapped as well.
Oh, wow.
Devil Dinosaur.
That is a problem.
Uh-huh. So, obviously Sentinel's the smallest thing in there right now, but that Devil is going to be difficult to beat.
Absolutely.
With only 1 card per turn as well, it's a very big risk.
There are ways and means of getting out of here, though, with a Sandman deck.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Tosco currently plotting the answer. Definitely giving turn 5, because turn 5 is such a crucial turn, giving it a big think.
Ooh, tried it. You can't blame him.
Looking like he really wanted to play 2 cards there. But you both got sand in your eyes. I absolutely cannot wait to see what Hazard does for the next 2 turns. And to be fair, the rest of this entire set, because Sandman is a serious problem for his deck.
Dare I say, if he hadn't opened Yellowstone, he'd be in a much, much worse position.
Yep.
He decides to pace the Thanos.
Yep. Thanos being absolutely paced.
Doesn't but taking a punch to left.
Go, keeping the arrow in the left lane.
Not sized.
What do you mean?
It looks...
Oh yeah, it's like cropped at the top. It's different to the desktop one, but I mean, I can try and edit it on the fly.
It does look like Tosco's sending this anyway, whilst Como's doing some IT shenanigans.
Oh yeah, it just looks like the cropping's slightly changed since I made it. I'll move these a little bit, and then jot that down a touch.
It's mobile.
So yeah, that's about as good as we're going to be able to make it for now. So we had to make the overlay for mobile today, so it's not as ideal as we'd like it.
Oh, and it is looking like Hassa clutches it out anyway through the Sandman for 4 damage.
With
Jesus.
that golden-backed America Chavez.
Another heavy hitter, turn 1.
Yeah, that's a 4-cube game.
Jesus.
After with the snap, clutching it out, and the fact that he drew and used all them stones so early was enormous for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're aware the cropping's not totally on point, guys, but it is mobile.
Yeah, we've had to amend the entire setup of this to be able to accommodate for a mobile view, but
Is what it is, unfortunately. But we can still see every card going on.
Until we get a spectator mode in this game,
we're gonna encounter problems like this.
Slight struggles in getting it up, but
So Hassa is incredibly up here, and we can only imagine that both these players won their first game as well. Looking like Hassa he chose to pace the sunspot to pass on 2, puts him 1 point ahead on the sunspot. Dark Dimension getting revealed. Great news for that. Sentinel getting paced. No Quinjet though.
Tosco deciding to just pace straight into that Dark Dimension.
Now here it comes. The card that it's all about. Let's see what Hassa can do about it. He does have an extra 1 energy here.
And a snap coming through.
Absolutely. Looks like a madness is about to come down. Those of you guys that face Hassa regularly on the ladder knows that he is known for the...
There's a leech coming through, and that's going to be really, really backbreaking for Tosco right there.
Jesus.
Yo, we've got Sifridge P coming through.
Thank you so much.
Yo, thank you so much.
This is desktop. So, which one's the desk?
Oh, that'd just be regular snap.
There we go, guys. How bad on that? We thought it was mobile.
Ah.
But yeah, thank you so much, man. Would usually be playing some noises. We'll be bigging it up even more afterwards, Sifridge. But looking at this game, a dino has come down.
Yeah, the snap a couple of turns ago is...
Yeah.
It's a solid retreat there for Tosco.
Absolutely. And we out. Fugio.
Sitting and simmering on that just for a moment there. That leech really swung, just broke that game.
Right, another Alpha's another pro gamer move that's in the guide. Open Sunspot if not Yellowstone. Because why not, right? Big pass on turn 1 coming through from Tosco. Pass on turn 2. Feels bad passing with the Sunspot. Hassa also passing on the Sunspot, which isn't as bad, but he suggests that he's not drawn any stones or any stones that he doesn't want to pace right now. That is another snap coming in from Hassa, which can only be bad news on Tosco's end. Now, all things considered, you probably do want to stay in, but with only 4 health, do you really? Takes the gamble that he can't soak 2, which is pretty dire.
Now, Hassa backs it just in case, or is it just to get rid of a card that...
Oh, he's such a shulk.
Really wants to take that lane. Now he's just making sure that the Doombots aren't going to get Tosco there.
Absolutely. Still threatening for soak as well, which this deck does plenty of.
Yep. Stark Tower about to go off next turn, and Hassa at the moment only has 1 card in there, so slight advantage on that lane. but chooses to play into the mid anyway, and that is another leech. So all those on reveal effects that we've seen Tosco play for the last 2 rounds, we know how backbreaking it was last round, and that is very dangerous looking.
That's lucky like curtains, unfortunately. Hassa's deck, just too many tools, too many scary options. You're never quite sure what's going to come out.
Now, there is potentially a world, at least in Tosco's mind, where he can make this back. But
with only 4 life remaining,
it would be heavily reliant on Hassa just not having to have drawn the absolute worst draws that he could. Now, from my perspective, if I was looking at this, I'd see that leech and be thinking they've definitely got something to back that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have paced that leech out.
Any 2 cards would make it up in mid. With Xandar on the board, they all get +1.
And that is another very important retreat from Tosco there, keeping the game.
Absolutely, positively agree with that 400%.
But looking like Leech with the game absolutely on its back right now.
And looking like he's going to have to turbo into this Sandman immediately and get the God Draw to a standard chance. Another collapsed mine.
Ooh, we're seeing him. We are seeing him. Okay, so Tosco chooses to actually play out the Sunspot.
Yeah, Hassa going in with the immediate snap as well.
Yeah, fair play to this point.
Why not, right? Now, he's running a dangerous game here. Reality Stone, he's definitely should be on the back of his mind. Opens Yellowstone, opens Quinjet. Jesus.
Yeah, probably hugely lucky for Tosco there that Hassa didn't have the Reality Stone. I can only imagine that if he had it, he would have played it right there.
Positively. We are going to try swipe his way back into this game, it looks like, with the Rogue onto the Quinjet, but that is a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got a chance of getting the Soul Stone as well with the
Reality Stone, turning that into a Baxter Tower, swapping one tower for another, right?
Right. And he's just looking like unbelievable pace on Hassa's side. I'm trying to think of a way that this tech deck gets out of here, but it's looking...
It would have to be incredibly high roll, right?
We'll see it.
I mean, if Hassa's got any of his answers there, it's probably more than too much.
Absolutely.
More than too much to ask.
Got the main deck answers. I can't quite see how many cards Hassa's got in hand right now, but I'd imagine it's at least 4.
Yeah.
Stealing the Quinjet sucks, but
it's not the end of the world.
It's really not.
You see, yeah.
And here he goes. Can he do the Hassa Classic? It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
Very good choice from Hassa to have chosen to pull that blue marble.
Yeah.
Right, and the white tiger going left is very meh for Tosco. Very meh with that Baxter building looming on the left and looking like they'd absolutely need it for a swing.
Yeah.
So turn 5 is definitely going to be tough for Tosco.
It is.
See, Tosco's now in the predicament of not believing those snaps earlier to now be in a situation where he has to play this out because this is not going to do it.
Yeah, this is not going to do him any favors. There's just too much that can happen. You could have something heavy in hand, or he'll high roll into something heavy. We're talking about Hassa here.
And the leech again. That is looking like this game
into the lockjaw lane.
100% wrapped up.
Into Time Stone for 7 energy on the last turn.
Yep. So even with Sandman out, it's looking like there is not any one single good option.
There's a small chance that Doom would have got him there, but there's just no way out.
Yeah, it is at least appearing that way, but it could possibly be the case that, I mean, there's a slight chance that Hassa has nothing even remotely big in his hand. The Baxter building could be a sway here, but with sunspots on the Baxter buildings, that's also
I mean, even if he was to take this back to building it, it wouldn't get him there left.
It would be a -3 to a +3, but
There comes the M'Baku just to sort it out. Jesus.
Very, very big showing from Hassa there. Fighting through that the Sandman.
Shout out to Tosco, though, for bringing the tech deck.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
Pulled some really dirty stuff. It's just the pace was too much.
It was. It had too many answers, too much stuff going on. And unfortunately, the High Road Master himself putting on an absolute clinic of how it's done.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's, WP's. I'm just checking the desktop audio's fine as well. And we cool? Looking like we're going into this next match, guys. Malka Diaz versus Eiffel Pardito.
Yes, very good.
I've never seen the new leader here. I guess only Beast can make him work. Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, they can make it work for 8 cubes too.
Yeah. Morag on the opener. We've got pass from both players. Rickety Bridge. This is looking like one of those games.
Oh, yeah.
Testing the flexibility of both players' decks right now. Neither card has been revealed from either opponent. Looks like it is going to be a Boo into Darkness and an Angler coming down from the opponent.
So, I mean, you can call Morag a no fun zone, but wow, with the third reveal, this is no fun arena.
About these locations, though.
And the opponent seems to have an answer for that.
Now, we can just throw cards into here to get into Morag.
Mm-hmm.
But if either of these decks are heavy curve, we're going to have problems.
So it's looking like that's exactly like what Malka Diaz is doing. Just taking that pass into Morag really quick, and unfortunately for Eiffel, Pardito, they just have to pass that round. The Angela on there is kind of backbreaking for him.
See if any location control gets revealed on this third turn, fourth turn.
Yeah, I mean, if Eiffel Pardito doesn't have an answer to this, I'm surprised they'd stay through that snap.
Wow.
And that is a sacrifice.
It is.
Takes down the Zabu effect, gets 2 on the Angela.
Full cost Enchantress. Who believe the snap came down from Marla?
Yeah. Yeah, difficult to tell from this particular way of streaming, but
It'd be cool if the avatars looked angrier when they're snapped.
yeah. Yeah, we need to get right into second inning, you know.
Another pass. Oh, first pass into Morag coming up from Eiffel, and it does look like he's running some sort of weens.
Yep, he's got the zoo on the go, so there's a squirrel on the bridge, which means that Malak's really got to start thinking about whether or not he's going to be able to play in there.
How he's going to knock him off.
Indeed. So, right now, obviously wanting to gun for that rescue, but
it's going to be tricky.
It's going to have to be some kind of sacrifice. It's either something to kill the squirrel girl, which is more likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of considerations going there. Right. So it looks like he's willing to get some sacrifice on the board.
A lot of stuff coming down.
And get that buff on the rescue.
Nightcrawler for the pass. Buff on the Angler.
Taking the sacrifice to make sure that Angler gets some health there.
Got ants in the pants, man. A man like Shang. Yo.
Coming down for that preemptive one on the rescue, that was kind of amazing. But you see, Enchantress here is also going to be...
it's going to be pretty good.
Very, very heavy. It's going to affect the Ant-Man as well, which is quite a lot for him.
Yeah.
Equalizes that lane and gives them another opportunity to continue playing into there.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Oh, is that the last turn?
That's it.
I didn't even realise we were on turn 6.
Jesus.
Just not enough.
I honestly thought Marla was going to take that. Snap ends up backfiring and loses 4 cubes on the first game. Jesus. Guys, we are showing hand. My bad. Nice Nightcrawler coming down from Eiffel on the first turn. Lands in Asgard, which is pretty cool. We've got Vibranium Mines to the left. Never liked playing into Vibranium Mines, but it can be clutch in some situations, and it's definitely better than Lechagulia.
Oh, yeah. Vibranium's good for stuff like if you do run quite a high curve and you got things like Morag, even Death's Domain, Altar of Death, anything that you just can't play into usually and got nothing that would normally land in there in your deck. Vibranium can be good for taking out of those situations. But a big fight for Asgard's going to be going down right now. Now, with the Angela out, Eiffel may actually have an advantage on this. Just because of the amount of Weens that he plays in that deck.
Oh, Sherry's Lab pairing up on the right.
Yeah, so he switched from the no fun zones to the kind of extreme fun zones.
Yeah.
Not the most extreme of extreme fun zones, but I mean,
it's pretty good.
Who doesn't love a bit of Vibranium, right? I know.
Jesus. Oh, big thunk coming down from Marla's side here. Mysterio is going to count as getting played, so he gets the Vibranium. He is fighting for Asgard, but it's not going to kick in time.
And chooses to go for the HUD into the lab. So it'll be a -4 there unless he can somehow get it out.
Yeah. Any destroy card here would be clutch.
Yeah, we did see him paste that Carnage into the Rickety Bridge last game.
Oh, let's see who's going to be able to win the Asgard.
I mean, this fight for Asgard is incredibly important.
Is going to go down, and Kazar is going to come out.
And that, I think, will seal it, for Eiffel.
With his small curve zoo-like, what we call a weenie deck.
Yeah, so still got the ability to move the Nightcrawler as well, because he played it into the middle in the first.
Absolutely.
Let's see what answers Malak has got for that.
That is a lot of cards left.
Yep. Looking like he doesn't want to play anything into the lab right now. Obviously, just for the fact that the smaller cards must have drawn a lot of them. Getting an Iceman off.
He doesn't really benefit from Sherry's Lab very much, knowing that Marla probably does, just choosing to avoid it for right now. Enchantress does come down, boosting the Lizard, shrinking the Kazar, and this could be the great equalizer that he needed.
Yeah, and that is kind of huge, because there is nothing that Eiffel can really do about that mid lane now. It doesn't look like. I mean, even a Blue Marvel could, I mean, actually, to be fair, he can move that Nightcrawler, so I can see how that plays.
And currently in the game, there is no cards that rebuff the cards to their full state. So once they have been negated, they have been negated.
Yep. So Eiffel's also got to be thinking about right now which side of the board Mysterio's been played on.
Yeah, that is a factor to bear in mind for sure.
I mean, we tend to take the idea when playing against a Mysterio player that you just got to assume it's everywhere and try and hedge against it as best you can.
Absolutely.
Unless, of course, they start blowing him up, and then you've got kind of a key indicator.
I'm not sure if we saw Chavez from Eiffel's side. A snap has been...
is a huge snap on the board.
I'm not sure which side that came down on. I think it may have been Marla again.
I think it's quite likely after that Enchantress went off, that's a giant swing.
Looking at what's coming down, it's looking like it probably was Marla. Jesus.
That is a lot of damage. Yeah, Eiffel over there playing Killmonger does not exist deck, and could the Blue Marvel here possibly
almost got him there?
Gets that Bishop buff, but the Mysterio's on the left, and that's just too much.
Marla does do for 4 damage for the Great Equalizer. He does tilt his hand now, though. Eiffel will be very aware of Killmonger.
Yep.
At least
in the weenie deck, how many answers does he have to that?
Well, there is a strategy of the deck where you play 6 on the last turn without priority. So we'll see if he goes for that. But that was a body block.
One word answers in the chat.
My bad.
Yeah, you'll see us in 2 minutes time from sending that message at you on Gladiator. We're hiding the hands to make it fair for the competitors.
I'm trying to not make keyboard noises on the tournament either. We've got Crimson Cosmos, fan favourite, right? I'm joking. And then we've got Sinister London, London Sinestrio, which arguably is a fan favourite.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Not actually joking this time. Now, Eiffel can maximise this with his setting up his Khazars and stuff. It'll give him an easier time to drop his weenies on the last turn.
Yeah.
It's about playing for priority at this point. We've got to be tactical. A couple of tech cards have come down from Marla's side that Eiffel is well aware of. Enchantress, Killmonger, cards that really seem to be backbreaking against this deck that Eiffel's brought to the table.
Yep. It's hugely techy, is what it's got going on right there. And a snap coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Victory. See, that Crimson Cosmos is just absolute grief to Eiffel's deck. There's really not much he can do about it.
I mean, he can get in there with Sinister London, but it's a stretch.
I mean, the deck is generally best paced out when you can get across the board.
Absolutely.
It's difficult for him still. In fact, I'm going to get onto my mobile so that I can reply to chat from here. And it just means that I'm not making keyboard noises and I can keep up.
Yeah. Cool. Squirrel Girls come down from Eiffel on turn 1. We've got Washington, D.C. and Mirror Dimension to the left. Revealing an Angela on turn 2 and a Lizard coming down from Marla. Now, Lizard not also great against Eiffel's deck because he can fill it quite easily, but we do know that Marla's packing the Enchantress, so it doesn't matter so much. It just means it probably have to come down on the Lizard lane, if that even ends up being an issue. Got Nidvillier for the third one. Bishop coming down from both sides. Mirror Dimension decides to turn into Nidvillier, which I would argue is probably best for Eiffel with the ability to flood the board much easier than Marla can. That's not to say that Marla hasn't been showing some flooding cards himself, like some Mysterio, the Hood, and the likes. Right, Khazar is coming down right now, and a Zabu from Marla's side.
So Eiffel's Khazar has been eating up that Enchantress debuff for the last few games, and it's been hurting him
Real
badly. We did see in the first game that it just wasn't quite enough for Eiffel, for Malik, sorry, but huge chance here that it's going to be backbreaking.
Snap is coming down.
Now, just looking at the reactions there, it kind of felt to me like Eiffel might have played that snap.
No, it's looking like Marla played the snap because it was red and not blue. Apparently that's the way it works. We need to be keeping a closer eye on that. So all the locations in Eiffel's favour here would be tempted to play it out.
Wait a minute, did you just say something about red and not blue? Sorry, I didn't register.
Yeah.
The cube's always red.
If Marla snaps, the effects will be blue.
Oh. That is good information to have.
Alright, so Mr. Vista comes down mid, as well as Sunspot and Nightcrawler, and again with the Enchantress on the Khazar, which absolutely sucks for Eiffel.
Yeah, but Eiffel's still got the priority moving into this final round.
Which is awful for Eiffel.
Yep. So as well here, just bearing in mind there's a booze out on the board for Malak. Or actually has no way of cheating any mana here.
It's true.
Could be situation very, very bad right here.
Absolutely. Double tech card potential, with most of the tech cards in the game being 4 cost. Zabu on board. Not quite what it used to be, but still a big finish.
Right, Nightcrawler moves. First cards to be played are...
Oh, Enchantress, a little late to the party there.
Yeah, it's not going to affect much in the post-final round, but... As you see, that reveal looking deadly, and then kill again.
A 1-card answer to the Affel's deck.
Gonna clear the entire board.
That is devastating.
Yeah, Malak super happy to be playing that in this particular round, definitely. And a Shang-Chi on top.
Just in case, Jesus.
Both cards on that lane because of the Nidavellir buff. And that was huge. That was a lot of damage. That was a lot of punches. And it can't feel good for Eiffel right now.
Absolutely not.
Truly wanted to believe they didn't have the same answer as last time, but
it's the chance of him having one of them. It's really high. Now Eiffel can bring this back. He's still in it. He's down, but he's not out. Now, if you're Eiffel here, you need to be playing to the point where you definitely don't have prior moving into the last turn by any means necessary if you want any sort of chance. Probably not pacing weenies out. And hold tight. Is that the end?
I think it looks like Eiffel has conceded for the last bit of health, and yeah, that's it. That's your 4th round game. Well, guys, we are right back in it currently on the 2nd round. Looking like they're in a slightly different aspect ratio, so the alignment is slightly off, but we can still see what they're doing here. It's round 5 that's being played out at the moment. We've got Modok played out there by Taco. Flying Gnomes playing the Atuma into Wakanda. I would be sorry, the Octopus on that turn, yeah. So last turn right here, guys, and Taco's snapped on this one. Currently waiting it out. We'll see what and where Taco chooses to play. Taco having priority in this last turn's probably quite a big deal for him. Wait to see how this round plays out. Remember, the opponent snapped here, and Flying Gnome looks to be locked in it. Oh, and Taco has retreated. So after getting that rip from hand, and with the snap, Taco just didn't want to see the end of it out after that, Dr. Octopus. Fair play. Good showing. So Flying Gnome now with a 1 life point advantage. Ooh, and then Taco in there with the early snap, seeing the Sinister London, and just thinks, yeah, cloning that Sinister London, looking like a good game for that deck. Playing the Modok shenanigans. Right, Colleen Wing coming out on Taco's side into the Sinister London. Going to discard a couple of swarms. Some advantage on the hand size, and then Titan coming down as well. So She-Hulk gets an additional cost reduction there. And Flying Gnome wants to snap back. This is suddenly a high cube game. Ooh, so Taco takes the Storm to the Sinister London, meaning the She-Hulk comes down, does not get a clone. Which could be huge. So round 4, that is a big, big hand drop from Taco. Looking like they're pacing out them swarms. Getting a hit on the Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is now at 12. Swarms on the field, cloning themselves to the hand. And Shuri coming down on Flying Gnome's side. 4 cubes minimum at stake in this game right here. So Shuri in effect into turn 5. And a big pull. So Flying Gnome's currently checking, and Taco has 2 cards left in hand. Now for 8 cubes, this is either going to send Flying Gnome down to 1 life, or it's going to end the game right here if both players decide to play it out. Taco has already seen the tech that's coming, decides it's going to throw down the Chavez. Oof. And it's looking like that will not be enough. So right now, Flying Gnome is absolutely sending this one into the grave. Doesn't matter what Dracula discards there, that's just GG's, and Taco is out of this round. Woo! Alright guys, so we are back with the next round. We are streaming from the perspective of Broad up in here, and they currently have an armor out on the field in the first round. Scarlet Witch on the board just turned the 3rd location into Los Diablos base. So waiting to see end of the 3rd play of this game. So Kickoff's dropping 2 cards here is the Mojo into the armored lane and Nova in the mid. Not Los Diablos doesn't affect anything in this game. Alright. So we'll see turn 4 exactly how this one's going to go down. Just that to full screen so the icons will stick a little better there. So Wong lane set up on the left. Looking like Broad's committing to that play. We get the double Black Panther take up to 16. Or Kick-Ass at the moment taking a Sarah, reducing the cost of his cards. So Broad at this point in the game doesn't know where the real Mysterio is. So it's looking like a game that they may have to hedge as best as possible. Broad there showing off a cool looking variant. It looks like they've committed to this final turn play. Kind of feeling like Kick-Ass at this point in time having more to think about with the Sarah energy reduction cost. So Taskmaster will take that for 16, and the Shang-Chi just comes down in the wrong lane to be able to take that Taskmaster. Does look like they're winning that lane though, and that is Sunspot down, but that's not going to be enough, I do believe, to take any lane, no matter where Mysterio is now. Yeah, on top of that, the Mysterio being in the mid lane. It was a good little prediction with the Shang-Chi there, but just not in the right lane. But yeah, good showing. Okay, so Kickass is going to drop the Enchantress on the Zabu and the armor in that lane, leaving Sunspot open. I've seen him play a Killmonger also, so it's looking like the Sunspot and those ninjas are vulnerable to being blown up. I don't think Broad will really mind the ninjas being blown up, but... Okay, another turn 5 Sarah we're seeing from Kickass, and Broad with a red skull there. Doesn't have a Zero or Sauron to have debuffed it. Or denatured it, I should say. So this will come down to just how much Kickass can manage to get down on this last turn. Looks like Broad's willing to see it out for 2 cubes. No snaps currently. Come on, baby. I've got to say, kind of looking like it's in Kickass's favour, and Kickass does take the snap there. So Broad is out, wasn't willing to see it for 4, which is fair enough because quite a disadvantage going on there. Good showing. Very, very late snap from Kickass. Okay, so we've got Zabu out on the left for Broad, and Kickass is willing to see that Mojo turn into a Hulk. It's absolutely fair enough. So Broad right now with the last chance to play in the Gamma Lab. Be interesting to see just how many Hulks Kickass may be able to get on the board. It's looking like they're sticking with just the one Angela on the left to take that Moir Island buff. And now Broad has got something shuried to be coming down into the turn. Whether he's going to play it this turn or hold out, remains to see. Yeah, passes so he can get that Sherry off, and a Enchantress coming down on the Zabu once again. Not sure just how much of an impact that's going to make this game. It's looking like we're going to see the Sherry card come out on turn 5. A big red skull into Jotunheim, and yet again Kickass playing the Sarah on turn 5. Went really well for last game. Quite the different setup going on. Now, Shaw Broad is well aware that he's seen the Shang-Chi come from Kickass, and it could be an indicator that he's got it, given that he only put one Hulk down on the board. I'd imagine that Kickass has got suspicion that that Broad won't be playing the Shang-Chi in this matchup, given the Kaz's deck. Waiting on the final turn here, Kickass willing to see it out. There's a Maximus into that left lane and a Shang-Chi down the mid, and that absolutely will be enough for Sarah allowing him to play them cards. Sentinel in there for good measure, and the Moir Island buffs go off. Unfortunately, Broad's not able to soak any on the Sunspot, and that is round 3. Going 2 cubes into Kickass's favour. Good showing, good showing. Alright, starting off round 4, we've got New York on the left lane, which is always a spooky one. A lot of mind games going on in New York. Both players passing into round 2, so we've got the Angela coming out again for Kickass, and Sunspot going into that lane costing nothing, and Elysium getting a really good buff on. So it does feel like Elysium probably favors Kick-Ass a little bit more in this matchup. Okay, the Bishop Mysterious combo, very well known in the meta. Buffs all across the board. Shuri down for Broad now. And with the Elysium, it's questionable whether it would be an earlier or a later push for Broad to want to make this play. And that's a snap from Kick-Ass right there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just got a little more intense. Right, we'll see it. Killmonger to take out the sunspot. Doing very, very little on Broad side of the field. A few more buffs on Bishop. Red Skull sitting there on 35, looking very powerful, looking very exposed to Shang-Chi also. Okay. Shang-Chi, right on cue. The good thing about Taskmaster though is he will pull a card out from the grave and take the power that it was on when it was on the field. So you can see it got that 30 plus the 5 buff from Atlantis. So because of Kick-Ass's snap, this is going for 4 cubes. Should both players play it out. Shang-Chi's already been on the board, so we're well aware that now Taskmaster isn't vulnerable. So every right to take the time thinking about this last turn. At the moment, for 4 cubes without a retreat, Kick-Ass has really got to be wondering just how he's going to navigate that problem, which is just the 135 power monster now that his Shang-Chi's out of the way. Okay, Maximus in New York. It's looking like Kick-Ass very, very much taking that lane. And short of a miracle from Scarlet Witch there, this play should absolutely seal it for Broad. And there you have it, folks. Big 4 cube swing. Broad taking that one. Kick-Ass now on 4 health remaining. So, very, very powerful showing there. Important thing in that game was the Shang-Chi being shown early. Once that Shang-Chi's tilted, it makes it quite difficult for Kick-Ass to have any answers to what's the rest of what's coming in that deck. So, turn 2 on the 5th round. Like Broad's going in with the Zabu out into the unknown. And Kick-Ass playing in Mojo on the Nexus. Pretty smart. Could be a lane that gets filled up very well in this game. Right, turn 3 play for both players. We've got Bishop and Armor coming through on Broad's side against Kick-Ass Bishop. So Kick-Ass has got to be pretty upset about that play. Shang-Chi answer is absolutely shut down. Just a couple of cards on the right there. Pulling the Killmonger out to blow up the Nova, buffing up the Bishop and the Mojo. Shuri down in the Nexus. Definitely causing some problems for Kick-Ass right now. Because they know that the amount of power output in this deck is going to be difficult to deal with. Broad there with the snap, and Kick-Ass rightfully retreats. Yeah, real good stuff. Real good points up to the Shuri deck there. And Broad now on game point. We're seeing Throne Room on the first location, Clint Tower on the second. It doesn't appear that Clint Tower will benefit either player much, but you could say possibly swings worse in Broad's disadvantage. And choose to both play onto the unrevealed location, which reveals to be the Altar of Death. And this could make this round very interesting. Broad dropping in there with the Throne Room and Mysterio coming down. The Mysterio on the Altar of Death will count as being played, so that will get the buff on Angela and indeed the extra energy for next turn for Kick-Ass. Yo, Joker77, thank you so much for coming through with a follow. Really appreciate you joining in. So Kick-Ass currently playing with 6 energy on this turn. And the Killmonger again taking down that Sunspot. Okay, so the symbiote revealing there. Kick-Ass, you would imagine, has played that Mysterio on the Throne Room. With the additional energy here, Scarlet Witch and an Enchantress onto the middle lane. But it looks like Kick-Ass wasn't fearing the Zabu enough to play the extra energy, well, to take advantage of that extra energy and Enchantress the Zabu. Clearly not feeling like it'd be needed. Shang-Chi's still not been played this game. Kick-Ass on 2 health remaining, so if this is indeed the last play of the game, so Broad with the Black Panther onto the left lane and the Shang-Chi coming down there. Excellent play. So Broad decides to slide underneath the Shang-Chi by playing the Black Panther, only going to 8 and then doubling afterwards. And the Wong there in the mid lane just for a minor hedge. Victory. Excellent big brain play there from Broad. Kick-Ass respect. GG's, well played. So that was round 5, guys. Right, I'm just going to drop out of the audio, guys. I'll see you after the game. So, guys, we're slightly late into this one, just catching up. And it looks like Wiggin and his Thanos shenanigans have taken 3 cubes of loss so far. So, Chadinio going into this next round strong. What we're about to witness here is pro gamer move from the Thanos player by playing the yellow stern on turn 1. Ooh, okay, so turn 2 snap from Chadinio. Obviously well aware that Wiggin's playing the Thanos stuff right now. Sees Muir Island in the mid, and just believes that Hellfire Club's going to be too difficult for Wiggin to play around with all the 1-drops in his deck. Well, the good thing for Wiggin in this matchup is you'd imagine that playing Sunspot, the opponent doesn't play a Killmonger. They do get a save off of the Apocalypse though, pumping it up to 12, getting a boost on the Muir Island. Lockjaw on the right lane now could spice this game into to a place possibly that could make Chadinio regret that particular snap decision. It's looking like some stones going down on the Lockjaw lane. Reality Stone turns it into a Tinkerer's Workshop. And next turn, both players will be playing with 6 energy. And Killmonger out there just cleans up. And into a wave, so that energy negated. Colin Wing gets rid of the Nakia. A little bit of a Morbius boost, and Chadinio still able to take advantage of that Muir Island buff. So Wiggin actually looking a little stronger in this round. Lockjaw definitely doing him a favour there. So Chadinio, with the advantage, takes the Apocalypse to the right lane. Magneto now going to pull the Lady Sif over to match the Colin Wing. Match the Colin Wing. And that will actually give the Kid Captain Wiggin priority going into this final turn. So it's looking like a much better spot for Wiggin this game than it was the last two. Yeah, and Chadinio just does not want to see what's going to get rolled on that Lockjaw. That pre-def coming out of the wave. Big swing for Wiggin there. Actually, you getting joined in with the stream? So it's an early snap from Chadinio there. Seeing the Washington DC, and then the peak. And now it's a game of who was that peak worse for? Just have to find out. Okay, so a turn 2 Lockjaw enabled because of that peak, but that's very good from Chud there. Able to drop out the Morbius, the Mystique, and the Dracula all on turn 2. Kind of incredible to have had that in hand right there. It could go so much for worse for that deck. Now, chance that Lost Diablo Space might hit the Mindscape here, which I can imagine Chadinio would probably favour the Mindscape and maybe want it to come off. But both players' decks with the ability to drop cards and leave not much remaining there. Lockjaw pulling a lot of power into the lane, but not a lot of effects. So the left and the right still looking very doable for Chadinio. Turn 4, Chud wants to play on the left, which, by the looks of things, is the one that Captain Wiggins is thinking probably would be most beneficial for him to try and chase, given that he can clear that sunspot. Puts him in a decent position there. So the Space Stone effect. Wiggin considering what should be moved on the board. It's looking like a play locked in. So Lockjaw's been moved to the right. It's got 3 cards behind it. Swarm and Naki are on board. So with that Swarm being paced, it's looking like the wave might not hurt as much. That Magneto could be a real kick. Now remember guys, this was Chadinio's snap. And now Captain Wiggin does have the ability to remove a card, to move a card out of that lane again. Okay, final turn being played. America Chavez round onto the right lane, left lane. And it's not going to be enough to get Chadinio there, so Captain Wiggin taking 4 cube victory. That is huge at this stage in the game. Victory. Okay. Now heading into round 5. Round 5, as you all know, high stakes. Starting at a 2 cube buy-in for this round and the following rounds. Lynch Super, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, so Wiggin again decides on a pro gamer move by playing the Mind Stone on turn 1. Always a good shout when you're playing this deck. Tinkerer's Workshop only being a benefit on one side of the board. Chadinio being on the back foot with the life as well. Got to be a little bit of a sting. Yeah, we're currently spectating the final round of Swiss. And then after this, we're taking the top 8 cut. The last table of matches coming up right up after this. Okay, into turn 4, looking like Chadinio has very, very little on the board right now. Lockjaw lane set up for Captain Wiggin. Could spell a high amount of power, but it's big gambles. So Subterranea pulling that rock's got to hurt. Either Space Stone effect comes in. Dracula out there on the left for Chadinio looking like it could take that lane of its own. Okay, so midway through processing the turn 5 play in round 5, Chadinio taking the snap. Rock, Reality Stone turning into Triskelion, which got to say must favour Chadinio here. Chadinio at the moment gambling with all of their life points. Just got a random full hand and discarded it all, so it makes no effect, and they get the final turn draw. It's looking very much like Swarm's being able to be played out. Four cubes right now. This is make or break for Chadinio. They were in the final turn now as well. It means that there is no backing out from this point. And that right there is the game. The Magneto play was absolutely huge there. Yeah, good game played by all. Def taking that swing. GG's. Okay, just updating the stream title there, and we are into round one, turn one. Hassa against Nuts over here with the opposition. And this should be an interesting one. Apologies if there's any blurring issues, it just seems to be catching up with itself right now. So we've got big pass coming through from both players. Murder World in the middle. You dare say that it's possible that Limbo may favour the non-Thanos deck? And Armor being dropped out onto the left lane from Nuts there. Okay, so Clintar not seeming overly awful for the Thanos deck either. Everyone just a wee bit wary of the Murder World right now. Oh, and that is a snap coming through from the opponent. See how this one pans out. Okay, Hood on Murder World. Decent enough play. But Hassa able to get the board rolling now. Boom level down there. Seems like a pretty good play. Turn forward that extra energy. And we've got a Moon Girl on the go from Nuts. Nuts is definitely confident in this one. Definitely confident as to playing this turn out with a legitimate amount of energy. And Nuts playing a magic onto the left lane just to make sure it's double limboed. Well aware of the reality stone in the Thanos deck. That play was indeed pretty nuts. Now you'd think that's probably, maybe, definitely thrown a spanner into the works for Hassa. Magic on for turn 5, then a big pass into turn 6. Turning that into Savage Land pretty much guarantees left lane for Hassa there, so that was an amazing spin on the reality stone. Hassa now well aware that the Moon Girl has been played. Nuts is taking an extra turn and a complete pass on the turn 6 going into the final turn. 4 cubes on the line if this is played out, and it is the first round of this set. Like both players have got to play for it. So Magneto pulling the Moon Girl out there is unfortunate for the attempt to win this lane. See an Infinite on the right, She-Hulk in the mid, another She-Hulk in the mid, and that takes them to equals on that lane. And in front on the tiebreaker is, looks like this first one's going to Nuts. A valiant effort indeed, but just the fact that the Magneto had to pull the Moon Girl out worked really badly for Hassa there. Yeah, the gold foil Thanos making all of them stones look real pretty. Yeah, even losing the first 4 cubes in that first game for Hassa, you know, it'd be ultimate swagging with his deck. Okay, so Hassa choosing to pace out a Sentinel here. Quinjet making that look pretty good. Nuts choosing to take a Goblin. Destroying Hassa's Superflow. And that could be a real backbreaker for him. X-Mansion on the 3rd location is always spooky until it's revealed. One of those locations we definitely expect the worst. Okay, so a little longer for Nuts to play out the 3rd turn of this game. Lockjaw manages to pull back a Mind Stone. Titania's Psylocke over onto the right. And that will completely clog that lane. With a Shocker and a Blue Marvel. That roll was unfortunate. The other way around would have been amazing for Hassa, but Nuts taking that Blue Marvel, that could be a big, big swinger. Still playing through from turn 4. Soul Stone turned into a Time Stone there. Gets the draws magic out on the field. It's looking like we might see somewhat of a repeat showing of what Nuts was going for in the last game that they played. Nuts going in with the snap there as well. So it would appear that they've got the combo in the hand that they want. At least there's too much clog on Hassa's side for him to be able to pull through it. Sunspot onto that left. Very good for him. Yeah, we're aware that the resolutions coming through is low res. Unfortunately, we don't have a spectator mode, so we are having to do this through Discord. So it's very dependent on the resolution and bandwidth coming through from the players who are able to stream to us. It's unfortunate, but you know, at this point in the game, we have to just live with it like this. Okay, Reality Stone into Limbo, turns it into Elysium, and will end the game on this turn. Magneto in the middle for Hassa, as well as the She-Hulk. Marek Chavez, She-Hulk coming out, and Hassa will take those 4 cubes right back, and that squares it all up. Did actually have it. Did actually have it for this game. For spectator mode when... Right? Yo, really appreciate that, Giles. Thank you so much. Hassa right now pulling out the ultimate pro gamer move. Playing Mind Spawn on turn 1. Big snap coming through. Okay. So Space Stone and the Hood going onto the Oscorp Tower from Hassa and Nuts respectively. Get some real blurring issues at the moment. There's not much we can do about that, but try to keep up pace best we can. Don't know if there's a way that I can play with this to make it try and resolve better, but I think this is just what we've got to deal with for now, guys. Okay, so that's a Goblin coming down on the negative zone, and what looks to be a serious amount of clog. So M'Baku, Time Stone, Space Stone, obviously Hassa getting all the effects from the stones, and shutting off Nuts' ability to play any more than 1 card in there. That in mind, very big play from Hassa. Wondering just how capable Nuts is going to be of playing much into the Mojo world. Obviously, contesting it right now on turn 4. Devil Dinosaur in the mid. Looking like this game is swinging in Hassa's favour. Alright, so Nuts has got the Titania going over to Mojo World and then being flung back. Leech coming down. Now, we can't see Nuts' hand, but that could be the deal breaker in this game. Bear in mind that if this gets played out, it's going for 4. So Mojo World lane, we've got, provided that Hassa wants to play a card into there, it'd take 7 power to match. Devil Dinosaur looking like a problem in the middle. Not sure exactly what Nuts can do about it. Yeah, huge shout outs to Alphos for making this show happen. 128 players, solo run. And Hassa taking some time to consider this final turn. Completely understandably. Okay, so right now we're seeing Reality Stone turn that negative zone into a Shadowland. Both players on -2 there. And unfortunately for Hassa, just not quite enough power output there. Takes the 4 cube loss and down on 2 life left now. We can't just go around telling Hassa to get off Twitch, but yeah. So, turn 1, we've got Hood going down into the Shuri's lab to give that -4. You know, you'd imagine with the nuts that Nuts is playing, it's looking like it's going to get real cloggy up in that lab real quickly for Hassa. So chooses the Reality Stone after getting his Quinjet off. Rickety Bridge actually incredibly crutch from the Reality Stone there. Everything in there just getting blown up, and he no longer has that -4 on his side of the board. Very big punish though. On the Superflow, the Sunspot just has to chill in that lane. There's not really much that Hassa can do about it at this point. Nuts with a very understandable snap there. Now, Hassa's got to consider this because if it goes beyond this turn now, he's locked in for the rest of the game. So it's either retreat now, save the 1 health that he's got left, or bank on being able to win this game and have to play it through. And he goes for it, guys. Sheesh. So we've got Demon and Armor coming down the middle for Nuts. Doesn't want to armor the Rickety Bridge. Knows that Hassa may not have another answer to be able to play in there. Not now with the Reality Stone gone. So turn 4. Magic coming down on the bridge, turning it into Limbo. Does want to play in that lane. And a leech from Hassa disables all effects in Nuts' hand. Now we do know the run She-Hulks, which is, you know, abysmal to be leeched from. But the Infinauts now, if the Infinaut is in his hand, able to be played on turn 6 or turn 7, as the case may be. No matter what's played before. Okay, Lockjaw spinning 1 stone for another, and it is the yellow stone. Pro gamer move. Hassa's part here. Little soak on the Sunspot as well. So Hassa is maintaining tempo, but priority still on Nuts' side. So it's looking like, with this being the last play of this game, potentially, for Hassa in this set, he's going to have to high roll. And just as foretold, Infinite on 6. Lockjaw pulling a Sentinel out cannot feel great for Hassa right now. Blue Marvel as we go into the final turn of this game. And Nuts looking like a serious amount of power up. It would be really difficult for me at this point to justify a way back into this for Hassa. Looking very much like we shall see. Knowing this is the make or break for staying in this tournament. Spending a lot of time to think about it. Sunspot off on the right. Devil Dinosaur there on 12, which just about manages to seal this for Hassa. Getting some more draws off as well, boosting the Devil Dinosaur. And that is a huge two points for Hassa. Oof. So the Sunspot on that flow being a big stinger, but manages to pull it out the bag. That is the comeback factor from Hassa. The Lockjaw being able to roulette so hard in this deck. This time is placing the space stone out early onto the third location. Hellfire Club on the left, not fantastic for Hassa. But without a Quinjet currently on the board, Hassa seems going to be difficult for them to be able to play in there. Sentinel onto the Machine World, really good play. It's going to potentially cause a lot of clog in Nuts' hand. And that Attilan coming out is brilliant for Hassa there. Or it could potentially be, anyway. The more Sentinels that he's throwing into Nuts' deck, the more he might not be able to deal with the lack of synergy with the draws. Okay, Time Stone going down on the right, Goblin on the Hellfire Club. And that'll be a mix back in. So strong consideration on the turn 4 play here. But the Machine World so much in Hassa's favour. I can only imagine if you're Nuts right now and you've drawn either of those Sentinels, you'd be quite upset about it. Moon Girl makes it look like possibly not. They've only copied the 2 cards in the hand. It's looking like Hassa quick to play this turn 5 out. Now, Nuts taking the time to consider this one, which is very understandable in this position. Looking at it in round 5, without any player having to snap, already a 2-cube game. So this, if it's not going in Nuts' favour, will put them back on level pegging life-wise. Okay, so we do see that one of the Sentinels, at least, has been drawn. Or it was the Mind Stone. Yeah, Mind Stone, Sentinel. The Machine World really going to work for Hassa. Clogging up Nuts' hand. A couple of HUDs out on the board, which obviously means there's a couple of demons inbound. There's a question of where do those 1/6 beasts end up on this board. Nuts is currently down 8 on the right lane in the Attilan. Currently down 9 in Machine World. But up by 4 in the Hellfire Club. So those 1/6s definitely could be a bit of a swinger here. Hassa still considering the play. Trying to figure out maximum power output from Nuts' deck. Chooses to just play the Chavez. And Baku coming down 2 will secure all 3 lanes for Hassa. And that did not look winnable for Nuts in that scenario. Amazed they played that out for the... Well, I mean, there'd be no benefit to not playing it out at that point, but yeah, big swing back into Hassa's favour, and now we're level pegging at 2 life remaining each. It's pretty intense. I can't tell you guys how much I'm resisting saying everything's just nuts in this game because of the obvious. Yo, JT, see you in the chat, my brother. Well, overall, this has been an incredible swing back into this from Hassa. Life was looking very, very low. Candid Embassy giving Nuts a much bigger buff than it does for Hassa's hand. Okay, so Reality Stone turning the left lane into Shadowland. And Nuts looking like he may have already won the mid with that Titania. Now, guys, this is the final round between these two players. 3 turns left of it. 4 being played out right now. So assuming that we don't see a limbo in this game. Demon out on the right. Psylocke in the middle. Yo, we just got a raid coming through from Felicity. Thank you so much. Jeez. Big ups to the love, guys. Let's go. So just typing in a message to thank Felicity for that raid. And we have got on the board for Hassa nothing that's looking overly fantastic right now. Not sure if they're going to be able to get over the Savage Land in the middle. Barring some kind of miracle. 2 on Nuts' side there. Yep, it's as we expected. It's the Infinite and the She-Hulk. And that is just not going to be enough for Nuts to be able to get over. For Hassa to be able to get over, sorry. Yo, we got Orange Ponzu coming with the gifted sub to Felicity. Thank you so much, Orange Ponzu. But yo, huge game there from Hassa and Nuts. It well and truly was Nuts. I've been fighting the urge to say it this whole time, but jeez, that was absolutely crazy. Yo,
Grand finals coming up.
Nice. I mean, we've got a 2-minute delay on, so I don't think anyone would be able to manage. But
oh, Uatu. Interesting. I guess that really helps reduce the variance in battle mode. Oh wait, I'm doing this wrong. I'm not supposed to be revealing what's in my hand. Good thing it got played first anyway.
Yeah, District X game for the first round of this finals, which is
that's pretty funny.
Insane. When does this happen?
At least guys, it's not ego.
We've actually got Alphos on the casting right now. It's the other voice that you can hear coming through the channel. You should be able to hear him coming through the desktop audio.
Okay, so that's interesting. We've got a bit of one-drop spam coming in, but Agent 13 is going to generate a new card, which opens a new avenue of unpredictability for this battle mode. Nightcrawler also having lovely synergy with Angela because you can proc for the on-play effect and then move it, opening up a new space.
Yeah.
Oh, but Agatha gets pulled from the Agent 13.
So, taking the wheel right now, we're going to have to see how this one runs, guys. But
Agatha decides to not copy the sacred timeline.
So, I'd love to know what's happening right now.
Oh!
The opponent's hand in the Purcell sends the Jubilee. Now that is a catch. Does gives us get the sacred timeline.
Yeah, but is playing Angela and not optimally whatsoever.
I mean, the fact that you get the double buffed Angela back from the sacred timeline is pretty cool.
That's true. That's a really funky interaction that I feel wasn't intended.
Yeah, but goes for everything. So there's like if you play in Clintar after the sacred timeline, if you play in Clintar and then activate the sacred timeline, your cards will come back as symbiotes.
It also works if you don't have Taskmaster in hand and you want to Shuri into a Red Skull, then it copies the 30 power.
Yeah.
All right, that's game one with an Agatha win.
So yeah, that snap just to establish dominance, and obviously there was not much going on in Purcell.
Oh, my voice is loudest. I'll see if I can lower it.
I think I should just be able to turn it down every time.
Is this worse or better?
Worse quality wise, but I've turned you down, so don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. I'll just keep it at this gain. I don't know if this is max or min gain. I can't tell.
Right. Sorry about the noise issue there, guys.
Okay. Iceman coming down, always a very nice opener. Triskelion giving Franklin the best card in the game, Quicksilver.
Hey, don't be doubting the power of the Quicksilver.
Got a proc on the Mantis, which reveals some information about Purcell's deck and gives access to armor.
That's looking a lot better for Purcell already being able to get that Sunspot out.
The miniaturized lab is really going to hurt Purcell here because their board is already feeling quite congested.
Same could be said for both players, though. But the fact that we know that from the last game Purcell's running a Viper means that Shadowland's much more in their favour.
That's true. But Purcell also has the Sunspot, so if they run out of space, they can always pass turn for somewhat efficient energy to power ratio. Oh, the Triskelion Super Scroll. Not gonna take any ongoings.
Literally just going to be a sweet 2-power card. But that is pace on a Trisk.
If Franklin can set up priority on this turn with the Abomination, they might be able to win off of pulling to miniaturized lab with Magneto.
Hey? I mean, we might want to keep that a surprise for the viewers so that they don't know what's in the hand, but...
Oh! God, I'm really tired, okay? I apologize.
It's all good, homie. I can't believe we've made it all the way into the finals like this, man.
Literally. 6 straight hours. Crazy. Yeah, if anyone's interested in helping out run tournaments, I'm in desperate need of a staff team. Feel free to slide into my DMs, Alphos on Discord.
Right. That could be pretty
Ooh.
clutch, just managing the claw on there.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to rogue it. This could easily.
It looks like that's coming out, but there's 2 ongoing effects currently in play in that lane.
Oh wait, it's going to be taken back by the Super Scroll anyway. So it's rather than it being a a negative 12, but it being a 12 power swing, it's only going to even out the 6 power on the right lane. Our opponents are being very our competitors are being very hesitant to snap early on, which I think is the best idea in battle mode. You kind of want to get some information, and then as the stakes raise later, you can push in for bigger snaps.
Okay, so that's not taking an L on that one, but opening with the Sunspot into the mid. Sewer System not awful for it. It's looking like we're getting a bit of freeze. And we're back to normal. All good. Okay, so we've got 2 cards that can potentially buff in the Sewer System. And then a Subterranea. And this game just got a whole lot more rocky. It's looking like the Electro Ramp into the Lamp, which is fair for the extra 2 power, but Bishop on the other side.
Not going to get any value out of a moon goal here, and 2 rocks in hand, so that looks like a good retreat for Franklin.
Yeah, very good retreat there. I mean, even with the Quinjet reducing the rocks, it's still too disabling on that board.
What are your thoughts on playing into danger in this early, knowing that there's an armor in Purcell's deck?
Don't overly hate it.
Keep in mind, I've server deafened Purcell, Franklin now, so they won't be able to hear us.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. Reason being that Agent 13, the biggest gain that she has is to add that random card.
Yeah,
now, everybody more into the Danger Room sticking is kind of brilliant, but now the Bifrost revealing on turn 3 just opened up that rickety bridge to an annihilation.
I mean, hopefully for Purcell, they have armor in hand to prevent the destruction of Ebony Moor. And then they can still maintain the 7 power.
Yeah, Purcell really banking on...
Oh, no, wait, no, because it gets pushed off the Bifrost, so they can't play armor anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Purcell's just
Ebony.
banking on that lane not blowing up before the sunspot. Okay, Jubilee on Purcell's side. Chavez. And a Cable in there, pulling a mystery card from Purcell's deck. It's kind of an interesting play here from Franklin because his Cable won't be able to move onto the right or remain on the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was it was going to die anyway. He just wanted the card generation and to get the Bishop proc.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to resolve actually with the bridge being there first and then the Bifrost.
So we can get 11 power with Dino, but I think that's got to be a retreat here for Franklin because there's no way they can build up enough power to protect right side as well.
It depends how much of a gambler you want to be on that Danger Room.
Yeah.
Because there is a world, and
I mean, one card is less of a gamble than multiple.
It's true. So they want to pass on this, and Purcell's going to try and stick the claw, completely sticks, and right about now, going into the final turn, it is looking more like a retreat for sure.
This is actually really smart though, because if they wanted to, well, if a claw wasn't gaining power on Rickety Bridge, passing that turn lets them lose priority, which would let them gain an advantage if Purcell ended up playing armor into Danger Room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, I think the claw is just too powerful with the set of locations once it survived the Danger Room proc. Oh, gambling on playing armor and Rickety. I'm not sure if they have any reason to. Or just not playing anything in Rickety at all, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Because Purcell here needs to win right lane and play something middle.
Yeah, so looking like game 5 in the right lane wasn't a priority, but moving that bishop out ties up that lane. She-Hulk's actually going to win that mid on her own. So we have to see what sticks here to see. And is looking like a win for Franklin.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if it doesn't stick.
The White Queen sticking was crucial to that. But...
very close game.
Ooh, GG. Miek says you keep commenting on cards in players' hands, but we can't see.
Give me a break. It's been 6 hours of solo admin. I haven't had the warm-up that Como's had watching these games, ignoring the hand the entire time.
It's cool. The important thing is that we're getting some good gameplay, which, of course, we're at the final right now. These guys have been playing out their minds all tournament. We can only assume because neither of them have been on stream yet. But really, really strong showings, really smart plays coming out as well. So Bifrost is going to push their turn 1 plays into Xandar. Not awful for anyone.
Crawler mid for priority.
Armor coming down that lane to protect the sunspot. But so far, we've not seen any indication that Franklin would actually be going for some kind of kill.
Yeah, I mean, there's no Killmonger or Electra, so I think the sunspot's safe either way.
Just seems more like pace at this point. 3 is a bigger number than 2.
Is it a Hulkbuster? I wonder what the Hulkbuster's for.
It's for
I am really
busting up
impressed that the
Hulks,
Dino deck
canonically.
made it all the way to the final, though.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, who would have thought we'd be here in the finals here, watching a deck that main decks Mantis?
And there's no Shuri. It really goes to show how different the battle mode meta is to ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen quite a few Ebony Moors being played raw on turns 2 and 3 as well, just throughout the set.
Yeah. I get it's just really good tempo, I guess. Hard to play around. Plus, 7 and 8 power is a really good number to have right now with all the Shang-Chi running around. Oh,
Okay,
the
jumps into
Dr.
Doctor Doom, which is kind of fantastic for the Bifrost.
That may just be enough to swing the tempo into a 2-cube victory. I'm not sure
So
Franklin would want to stay in against that.
The slightly awkward thing for Purcell here is that even if he does move the Ebony Moor out of that lane, or move something out of that lane that the Ebony Moor's in, the effect stays in there. So he's technically a little bit more clogged than Franklin is right now.
That's true, because he can only play in the one spot in New York and then the Bifrost lane.
Yep. The power difference. Ooh.
Yeah.
That snap, yeah. That snap just confirms that he's aware that the power difference is too much.
Absolutely. Franklin, without skipping turn 5 for the She-Hulk, just wouldn't have had the numbers to swing on turn 6.
It's an interesting snap there from Purcell, though, because at that point it's either they're playing it out because they have it, or you're telling them that you want to fast forward into the next game. But fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably somewhat getting into his head there.
There is always something to be said for if you don't have the nuts and your board is in the position where the nuts beats your opponent if you snap. It kind of tricks them into thinking you have it. Quite an early snap here.
Snap just on the Lechigia, knowing that he doesn't have to play in there. He's got to be thinking about this.
And it really hurts the Angela play because you'd want to play the 3 bodies. Even 4 with Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to go for a collector into, a hand size play. Changes their mind, switches to Bishop. I don't believe we've seen Shang-Chi on either deck here, so the monsters on Monster Island should be safe.
Oh, the Electro into Deathstone main as well. Yeah. That must be what Purcell was watching when he... to have clogged up the Lechigia with 1 card and have a Deathstone main in the mid that you can't play into, it's... I was wondering exactly why I find that so important.
Oh, the Leech.
And the Leech is a backbreaker. Wow.
I hate that card so much.
So from everything that we've seen from Franklin so far, that is going to be absolutely tilting.
Yeah.
He's got...
Especially the Leech occurring after the Moon Gold proc, making essentially their whole hand... Oh no, before the Moon Gold proc, making essentially the whole hand useless. Although it'd be useless, I think.
Yeah, it's before or after. It's Moon Gold and Leech on the same turn is heartbreak.
Oh,
so Purcell's got that go wide device with the Doom bots.
I mean, Purcell can't play right side, so if there's a way Franklin feels like they can win priority on left, then they could still win this.
Yeah, I mean, what could that possibly be? An Odin to send more bots?
Odin, yeah. I mean, those are the two 6-drops we've seen other than Doom, and it's pretty standard in an Electro ramp list.
Mm-hmm.
The more we commentate on this match, the more it reinforces how much I think Leech should be removed from a game, as it's just an unfun card. I don't care about balance.
Leech is a great card. Look at that animation.
Okay, that animation is great. I'll admit that. Franklin willing to bet the final on a 7-drop left side. Probably a smart move against a deck with such a high curve.
It's going to be much easier to come back from the next round. with
Yeah.
3 lives instead of the 2. Did not look like he had any way back into that. But yeah, Purcell right now coming with the filth. The filth!
Purcell being the antagonist of a long-running anime with all the horrible tech cards.
You know he'd be playing leader if it didn't get nerfed.
Oh, he would.
We know this for sure.
You know, I'm not supposed to show bias against players, but personally, Purcell's pissed me off, and I would be happy to see a comeback from
Whoa! Whoa! Now, I'd love to see a comeback from Franklin right now, just because we get to see more snap. This is the grand finals.
Absolutely. Also, I'm really enjoying the list Franklin's running as well. It looks like a list like a early pool 3, even pool 2 player could put together quite nicely.
Yeah, just dinos for days, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I am the man who ran Dino to top 5. I should.
Now,
I am the Dino lover.
this is looking pretty good for Franklin, actually. We've got the collector out in the mid, and then cloning vats just appeared on the right.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to run all their card generation cards and just get a lot of procs off. Flood the board. Unfortunately, Avengers Compound is going to force them off the cloning vats in turn 5, but they could just drop a big drop there instead.
Still looking like it should be fine for him. Problem with the collector, though, is the small amount of power that it does buff each time. Now, obviously, there's particular combos in this game which make it, you know, way crazier, but you have to have the cards, and being able to play 1, 2, 3 pluses, you know, each and every now doesn't quite add up to some of the cards that can buff in this game.
Oh, and the Jubilee pulls and Magneto. These are some disgusting nutty pulls. So far.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
got the Chinese New Year luck coming on. Without
In a
the
way,
screen-
though, opening up a space on the cloning bats is not as bad as most random Magneto pulls can be.
That's true. Opens up. Well, they don't get to take advantage of it though because of Avengers Compound, so they can only play into it on turn 6.
Yeah, but you know that we have the full hand, especially knowing that we know that Franklin likes to play that Dino out. So
Absolutely.
if they got it, then
Well,
could
looks like
be
they're
looking
trying
at
to
something
save
special.
space. Yeah, trying to save space for the Dino to put down the mid and contest for high power lane.
See, one of the problems for Purcell here is that the maths, it's not overly difficult to do, but he does have to run some numbers on his last turn to be able to figure this out. Leech again, turn 5. So
really, I'm sure making Franklin regret not dropping the Dino on curve.
Oh yeah. So if Franklin had that Dino, then that's the nuts.
Not sure the triple bishop will be enough.
So assuming that they were able to get 4 cards out here, it would be a lot of buff.
Oh, but the cloning vats will proc collector. It might be enough. They can put a lot of power wide. It just depends on where the big drop from Purcell comes.
Yeah, so it's looking like Franklin at the moment is trying to think of the best way to hedge.
Yeah, Dr. Doom could be a game killer here.
I think, if I'm running the numbers right, looking at the way that Franklin's able to stack, I think Dr. Doom actually doesn't win this.
Oh, claw. Oh,
Law. Players like Purcell running the absolute bamboozle, a leech and a claw.
So we get another 2 power. Oh wait, no.
But yeah, just like
Was it
this,
Cloning
we get a
Vat pulls
+1 from
Tugs?
Cable, because that was the top deck. And then the Bishop buff.
And then the 15-0.
And that absolutely seals it. 3 right there to equalise the score. Gee, that was a lot of power. There was a lot of bishop. And yeah, like we were saying just before, that those numbers are really hard to run. And obviously Purcell would have more faith there.
I mean,
More faith there than he should have in that last play.
But yeah, hard to know whether or not, because obviously the leech came out, so the cable usually wouldn't have an ability. So even if they did run the numbers, they might have still thought it was a good idea to stay in, as it should have been a -1.
That cable top deck was chef's kiss. Mwah. Part of the cards.
Beautiful.
Franklin out here looking like Yu-Gi-Oh with his hair spiked up.
I mean, as I said before, Purcell is the antagonist. We got Franklin, the Yu-Gi-Oh in the Dark Dimension final match, the Battle Arena Showdown. He's got the heart of the cards in him. These are his granddad's cards, all pull two. He'd never buy some blue eyes dragon Shuri filth.
But this is what we wanted, guys. We wanted more Snap. We are getting more Snap. We've got nobody playing in Murder World right now, but we've got more in the middle.
Oh, what has he got that makes him so confident?
I mean, unless we see a retreat right now, guys, this is going to be the very last set of the tournament. So, very rightly so, being that it's turn 3 right now, is being strongly considered. Franklin knows that he's looking at wide devices and being slapped by that filthy green hand.
I mean, you've really got to, rope it out and figure, is this a good idea?
He's playing into it. Electro and Vormir once again manages to get his Electro killed off, so takes that +1 energy each turn. Huge. Agent 13 there pulling a card. Getting the pass into Vormir.
Purcell definitely has the advantage here. They've got the plus power on the Ebony and we're able to get rid of the Electro ongoing effect. Honestly, I think Purcell's rigged the game somehow. They've got some Ben Brode location RNG.
The thing is, though, he did actually get rid of one of his buff cards in that Electro. So there is that to consider.
So there's a slight power waste here.
Hey, Mad Head Shrinker, thank you so much for coming through with the follow.
Copied the...
And the early leech.
You know what, if I were to have a ban list for this tournament, Leech would be on it. For balance reasons, but because I hate the card.
Not ban listing, I swear.
Yeah, we won't ban lists. This is the competitive tournament. We deal with the annoying cards.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, if you're going to turn up to the comp tournaments, you've got to be bringing the filth. And right now, Purcell is bringing the filth.
Purcell has the definition of filth. Honestly, I'm going to go look in the deck list spreadsheet later. I'm probably going to find the title of the deck, Filth.
Filth.
Oh, that's just a lot of power on a wide board for Franklin to contest with without any, effects.
Yeah, but there is no retreating from this. This is the last play of the game. So no matter how you want to swing it, this is tournament point, and it goes down on this play.
This is, I mean, I definitely think that's the best move for Franklin. But Purcell just has so many outs to this game. They can Magneto, they can Claw.
Yep.
They're on the Electros, so they're on 7 mana right now. They could even Claw into a 2-drop, right?
Yep. Do a lot of dirty stuff. I think Franklin knows it, and he's just willing to just see it. And it's an Odin onto the Doom. Just to rub it in, he gets an extra green slap in the face. And there was well and truly nothing that Franklin could have done about that.
Yeah, I don't think that was a deck that was very well suited to go up against Leech Ramp. But that was a very amazing game. But, just before that round, what a comeback. Top decking the cable.
Yeah, I mean, even with the extra energy and the ability to play extra cards, just one card needed. And that will seal it out. Guys,
we've seen it.
That does conclude the first Battle Arena Showdown of Season 9 Quantum Realms. And surprisingly, not a Shuri in sight in the finals.